Shame in the marketplace. The marketplace on Colony Thera buzzed with activity as traders from 12 systems haggled over exotic goods Dr. Chen had never imagined existed before leaving Earth. He moved carefully between stalls, admiring crystalline fruits that pulsed with inner light and fabrics that changed color with the temperature. "First time off-world?" asked a vendor with the ridged brow markings. "Your wonder gives you away." Dr. Chen nodded, adjusting his new thermal coat against the colony's perpetual chill. "Just arrived yesterday. Research exchange program." The vendor would have continued, but a sudden shift in the market's energy drew their attention. A crowd gathered ahead, voices rising with a cruel edge that made Dr. Chen's stomach tighten. "What's happening there?" he asked. The vendor's expression darkened. "Nothing you should involve yourself with, outsider. Some matters are colony business." But something in the jeering tone of the crowd pulled Dr. Chen forward. He pushed gently through the gathering throng until he saw her. In the center of a cleared space stood a young woman. Her purple skin was dulled with dust and marked with bruises, her eyes downcast as garbage and rotting fruit were thrown at her by bare body. She made no move to escape or protest, trembling in the biting cold. "Who is she?" Dr. Chen whispered to someone nearby. "That's Aya," came the hissed reply. "She's cursed. Bad blood. Everyone knows it. She brings misfortune wherever she goes." Dr. Chen watched as Aya finally looked up. Her eyes, deep violet, met his across the crowd. In them, he saw not a curse, but exhausted dignity, worn down by cruelty. "Throw her to the waste plains!" someone shouted. "Let her kind die out!" The crowd roared approval. A piece of metal struck her shoulder. She flinched, but remained standing. Dr. Chen had come to this colony to study alien biology, not to interfere in local customs. But as he watched this purple-skinned woman endure such hatred, something broke inside him. The cold calculation of scientific observation vanished, replaced by simple human compassion. Without fully considering the consequences, he stepped forward. The crowd fell silent at his movement. "What's the Earther doing?" someone murmured. Aya's eyes widened as he approached. Confusion and fear played across her features. No one had ever approached her with anything but contempt. Dr. Chen removed his thermal coat, the only protection he had against the colony's harsh climate, and gently placed it around her shoulders. "Why?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Because no one deserves this," he replied simply. The crowd's shock quickly transformed to anger. "You've marked yourself, outsider!" A tall official pushed forward. "I am Colony Enforcer Isabel. This female is condemned. Do you know what you've done?" "Helped someone who needed it," Dr. Chen replied evenly, though his heart raced with sudden fear. "She's outcast for reason," Isabel spat. "Her blood carries corruption. Take back your coat or share her fate." Dr. Chen stood his ground. "Then I'll share it." Aya clutched the coat tighter, her fingers trembling. "You don't understand what they'll do." "Come with me," he whispered, offering his hand. "Now." As their fingers touched, the crowd surged forward, Isabel barking orders. Dr. Chen pulled Aya through a narrow gap between stalls, and suddenly they were running. The heavy thud of pursuit followed close behind. "This way," Aya whispered, guiding him toward darker alleys. "I know places they don't follow." Dr. Chen didn't hesitate, though fear clawed at his throat. He had made his choice. The coat, now wrapped around Aya's shoulders, represented more than warmth. It was a declaration that whatever curse they claimed she carried, he would face it beside her. Behind them, angry voices echoed through the marketplace, promising retribution for the human who dared to defy colony law for a cursed one.
Escape through shadows. The narrow alleyways of Colony Thera twisted like a labyrinth beyond the marketplace. Aya moved with surprising speed despite her weakened state. Dr. Chen followed closely, his scientific mind noting how the purple hue of her skin seemed to deepen in the shadows, making her nearly invisible against the colony's twilight. "They won't give up easily," she whispered, pulling his coat tighter around her shoulders. "Especially not Isabel. She's been waiting for an excuse to send me to the waste plains." "Why do they treat you this way?" Dr. Chen asked, breathing heavily as they ducked beneath a low-hanging pipe. Aya's eyes flashed with something between pain and anger. "My blood is wrong, according to them. My kind is blamed for the colony's misfortunes." The sound of pursuit grew louder, heavy boots and angry voices echoing off the metal and stone walls of the colony's undercity. Dr. Chen glanced back, seeing the glow of search beams cutting through the darkness. "We need somewhere to hide," he said. "Is there anywhere safe?" Aya hesitated, then nodded. "One place, maybe. The old research facility in Sector 7. It was abandoned after the last outbreak. Most colonists believe it's contaminated. They avoid it." "Is it?" Dr. Chen asked. A ghost of a smile touched Aya's lips. "No more than I am." They pushed deeper into the colony's forgotten corners, where the pristine facade gave way to neglect and decay. Twice, they pressed themselves into recessed doorways as search parties passed, Aya's breathing shallow against Dr. Chen's chest, her scent unfamiliar yet pleasant, something like desert flowers after rain. "Why did you help me?" she asked during one such moment, her voice barely audible. "No one has ever—" "Where I come from, we try not to judge people based on superstition." "Your Earth must be a kind place then." Dr. Chen thought of humanity's long history of prejudice and cruelty, but said nothing. Now wasn't the time for cynicism. The abandoned research facility loomed ahead, its entrance partially collapsed. Aya led him through a service door hidden behind overgrown alien vegetation. The interior was dark, but surprisingly intact. Equipment sat draped in protective coverings. Consoles still hummed with minimal power. "Some systems still work," Aya explained. "They never fully decommissioned it. Just left in a hurry." Dr. Chen looked around with growing curiosity. What was studied here? Aya's expression grew guarded. "Us. The ones with purple blood. They wanted to know why we're different." As she moved toward a control panel, Dr. Chen noticed for the first time a small symbol tattooed at the base of her neck. A sequence that looked strangely like a DNA helix, but with unfamiliar markers. "You were born here?" he asked gently. Aya's fingers hesitated over the panel. "No. I was made here." The lights flickered on, illuminating a laboratory that suddenly made Dr. Chen's professional interest surge with understanding. The facility wasn't just for research, it was for genetic engineering. "You're a modification," she finished. "Created to help the colony survive the atmospheric toxins. That was the intention. But something in our blood changed unexpectedly. We developed abilities they hadn't planned for. Then when the crop failures began, they needed someone to blame." Dr. Chen approached a dusty display screen and wiped it clean, revealing genetic sequences he couldn't fully understand but recognized as deliberately designed. "So you're not cursed. You're evolved." "Try telling them that," Aya replied bitterly. A crash from the facility entrance cut their conversation short. Aya tensed, her entire body alert. "They found us." Dr. Chen grabbed a piece of equipment that might serve as a weapon, but Aya shook her head. "There's another way out, through the specimen containment area." As they hurried deeper into the facility, Dr. Chen noticed Aya growing more confident with each step. This had been her world once, perhaps even her birthplace. Behind them, Isabel's voice echoed through the corridors. "Find them. The Council wants both the aberration and the human who helped her." Aya led him through a series of secure doors, each requiring her palm print to open. The last door revealed a small transport vehicle, dusty but potentially functional. "Can you operate this?" she asked. Dr. Chen examined the controls, finding them surprisingly similar to Earth vehicles. "I think so. But where would we go?" Aya's eyes met his, shining with a desperate hope. "The Outlands. There are others like me there. A place where we might both be safe." The sound of approaching guards left no time for debate. Dr. Chen activated the vehicle systems, feeling a surge of adrenaline as the engine hummed to life. His research mission was officially over, but something far more important had taken its place. "Hold tight," he told Aya, as the transport's doors sealed shut and they accelerated toward an uncertain future together.
Truth behind prejudice. The transport vehicle rumbled across the rugged terrain of Thera's outlands, kicking up clouds of iridescent dust. Dr. Chen navigated carefully, following Aya's quiet directions. The purple sky overhead grew darker as they moved farther from the colony's artificial lighting system. "We should reach the trading outpost by nightfall," Aya said, her voice stronger now that they had put distance between themselves and their pursuers. "There's someone there who might help us. Alex Cooper." "A friend of yours?" Dr. Chen asked, keeping his eyes on the unfamiliar landscape. Aya's expression grew complicated. "Not exactly, but he trades with both the colony and the outcasts. He understands more than most about what really happens on Thera." The vehicle's systems beeped a warning, causing Dr. Chen to frown. "We're low on power. I'm not sure we'll make it all the way." "We don't need to." Aya pointed toward a ridge ahead. "The outpost is just beyond that formation." As they crested the ridge, Dr. Chen saw a cluster of mismatched structures nestled in a natural valley. Lights glowed from windows, and several spacecraft of various designs were anchored nearby. Unlike the rigid uniformity of the main colony, this place had a chaotic, vibrant energy. "Independent traders," Aya explained. "They follow their own rules, not colony law." They abandoned the failing transport at the outpost's edge and proceeded on foot, Aya still wearing Dr. Chen's coat, though she had found simple clothing beneath it at the research facility. Dr. Chen noticed how others in the outpost watched them, some with curiosity, others with wariness, but none with the outright hatred he'd witnessed in the marketplace. A large building constructed from what appeared to be salvaged spacecraft parts dominated the center of the outpost. Aya led him directly toward it. "Cooper's Trading Emporium," she explained. "Alex runs it." Inside the structure was even more impressive than its exterior. Goods from dozens of worlds filled shelves and display cases, creating a riot of colors and textures behind the main counter. A man with weather-beaten features and shrewd eyes watched their approach. "Aya," he said, raising an eyebrow. "Didn't expect to see you walking free, and with company, no less." "This is Dr. Chen, from Earth. He helped me escape the colony." Alex Cooper studied Dr. Chen with new interest. "Did he now? Well, Doctor, you've certainly made powerful enemies quickly. What's it been, 2 days since your arrival?" "Sometimes 2 days is enough to recognize injustice," Dr. Chen replied. Cooper laughed, a short, sharp sound. "I like this one, Aya. He's got spine." He gestured toward a door behind the counter. "Come on back. Let's talk where colony ears can't listen." The back room was cluttered but comfortable. Cooper offered them drinks from a battered dispenser, then settled into a chair that had clearly been designed for a different species entirely. "So, you've thrown your lot in with the cursed ones, eh, Doctor?" Cooper said, though his tone lacked the colony's malice. "Interesting career move." "They're not cursed," Dr. Chen stated firmly. "They're genetically modified. From what I saw at the research facility, they were created deliberately." "That much is true," Cooper agreed. "But do you know why?" Aya sat straighter. "He knows we were made to survive the toxins." "That's the pretty version," Cooper said, his expression darkening. "The full truth is uglier. The modification wasn't just about survival, it was about exploitation." He pulled out a small projector and activated it, displaying mineral samples rotating in holographic form. "Thera sits on one of the richest deposits of neuronium in the sector, essential for quantum computing and faster-than-light travel. The problem is, mining it is deadly. The radiation it emits destroys normal human and alien nervous systems within weeks." Dr. Chen began to understand. So they created people who could withstand it. "Precisely," Cooper nodded. "Modified miners, designed to extract wealth others couldn't touch. But the scientists didn't anticipate the side effects." "The abilities," Aya said softly.
Psychokinetic mutations, Cooper confirmed. Suddenly, their perfect workers could move objects with their minds, read emotions, sometimes even influence thoughts. The colony leadership panicked. So they turned them into outcasts, spreading superstition about curses to keep others away from them, while still forcing them to mine when needed. Commander Rena, who runs the Colony Council, she's built her power on neuronium exports. She needs Aya's people, but can't let the public know their true value. Aya's eyes met Dr. Chen's. Now you understand why helping me was dangerous. The colony will never let you return to your research. They can't risk you revealing the truth. Dr. Chen processed this information quickly, his scientific mind piecing together the implications. But if this is happening here, someone in the Earth Science Directorate must know. I can't be the first researcher to discover this. Cooper's expression turned grim. You're not. The others were either bought off or had unfortunate accidents. A heavy silence fell over the room, broken finally by a soft chime from Cooper's communication device. He checked it, his face growing tense. Colony security vessels just entered outpost airspace. They're looking for you both. We need to leave, Aya said, rising quickly. Not so fast. Cooper held up a hand. There's someone you should meet first. Someone who's been waiting for someone like Dr. Chen, a truth teller from Earth. Who? Dr. Chen asked. The Resistance, Cooper replied, opening a hidden door in the floor. People who want to end Rena's exploitation for good. As they descended into the hidden passage beneath the outpost, Dr. Chen realized he had stumbled into something far larger than a simple act of kindness in a marketplace. He had unwittingly become part of a struggle for justice on a world he barely understood. And yet, looking at Aya, moving with new purpose ahead of him, he couldn't bring himself to regret it.
Alliance of Outcasts. The underground chamber beneath Cooper's trading post hummed with activity. Dr. Chen observed people of various species working together, many with the same purple skin as Aya. A man with determined eyes approached them, flanked by a woman whose tactical gear marked her as a strategist. I'm Kai, he introduced himself, leader of the Resistance. This is Sarah, my second in command. They helped me escape the mines, Aya explained. They've been fighting Commander Rena's regime for years. Sarah studied Dr. Chen intently. An Earth scientist could be exactly what we need, someone with credibility to expose Thera's practices to the interstellar coalition. The colony leadership has been systematically exploiting Aya's people, Kai explained, mining neuronium while perpetuating myths about curses. We have evidence, but needed someone the coalition would believe. Dr. Chen felt the weight of their hopes. I came here to study xenobiology, not start a revolution. Yet you risked everything for Aya, Sarah pointed out. That coat you gave her was more than warmth, it was a statement. Kai showed Dr. Chen their operation. Data screens detailed mining conditions and medical records of purple-skinned workers. Recordings of Commander Rena discussing keeping the aberrations useful made his blood boil. We're planning to infiltrate the central communications hub, Kai explained, broadcast the truth throughout the colony and to passing ships. If people see the purple-skinned as victims, not curses, Rena loses her power. It's dangerous, Aya warned, touching Dr. Chen's arm. You could still walk away, find passage off-world. Dr. Chen looked at her, then at the others working for change. His decision wasn't scientific, but human. I'm staying. I'll help. Sarah smiled grimly. Then we moved tonight. A new beginning. The communications hub stood silhouetted against Thera's purple night sky. Dr. Chen, Aya, Kai, and Sarah moved silently through shadows, avoiding security drones. Their plan was simple but risky. Plant Cooper's evidence in the broadcast system and override colony frequencies.
Security is heaviest at the main entrance, Sarah whispered, but there's a maintenance tunnel Rena doesn't know about. They slipped inside, guided by Aya's knowledge of colony infrastructure. Reaching the central controls, Sarah worked quickly to bypass security while Kai kept watch. Dr. Chen, Aya's voice was soft. If something happens to me, promise you'll still tell our story. He took her hand. Nothing will happen. We'll succeed together. The console lit up with access. We're in, Sarah announced. Uploading now. Colony-wide screens flickered showing mining footage, medical records, and Rena's own words, the truth about the Cursed Ones broadcast to every corner of Thera and beyond, to passing ships. Alarms blared. Security forces led by Isabel stormed the facility but encountered unexpected resistance. Colony citizens themselves blocked their path, having seen the evidence. The aberrations are dangerous, Commander Rena's voice echoed through the facility as she arrived. They'll destroy everything we've built. The only danger here is your lies, Dr. Chen challenged, standing beside Aya. These people were created to help Thera, then discarded when they became inconvenient. More colonists gathered, having seen the broadcasts. Their faces showed shock and shame at their complicity. The coalition ships received our transmission, Cooper's voice came through Sarah's communicator. They're demanding explanations from Rena. In the chaos that followed, Rena attempted escape but found herself detained by her own security forces. Isabel, surprisingly, was among the first to lay down weapons. 3 days later, Dr. Chen stood with Aya watching as coalition representatives established temporary governance. The purple-skinned workers emerged from hiding, welcomed now with tentative acceptance. "What will you do now?" Aya asked Dr. Chen. "Return to Earth?" He looked at her, the woman for whom he'd sacrificed everything yet gained so much more. "I think my research has just begun, if you'll help me understand this world and its people." Aya smiled for the first time without fear, taking his hand. "I believe that can be arranged." As Thera's twin suns rose on the horizon, Dr. Chen realized some discoveries weren't measured in scientific papers, but in moments of compassion. A simple coat offered in kindness had changed everything, beginning a journey neither could have imagined. Together, they walked toward the colony, no longer divided by fear, but united in possibility.